Sagittarius, and thanks so much for tuning in for the June of 2021. I hope that you got through that eclipse in your sign last month. There's still more astrology and eclipses and other stuff to come in June, but so we're right in the throes of it. Before we get started, I just want to introduce myself. I'm Vickieverlie, the rock and roll prophetess. I do professional readings for over 30 years. I'm also an artist and a channel and other things, and I create decks like the one we're going to use today in the Rock and Roll Tarot deck. And then we're going to pull a card from the Beast Mistress Animal Oracle card for your animal totem, also my own creation. If you are a Patreon level 2 supporter, there's going to be 3 more cards from the Luna Soul Tarot at the end. So thank you so much for joining. This is for Sagittarius Sun sign, Sagittarius Rising, and Sag Moon. The cards have been thoroughly shuffled. I don't see the point in shuffling all forever on the camera, so we're just going to do a real loose shuffle right now and just sort of let Spirit pull the cards that are right for our Sagittarius friends for the month of June. I do want to let you know to look at these cards, because let the intuition speak to you through these cards. That's how I've designed them. There's lots of different shapes and things that can catch your eye, and that's the way your spirit guides and angels can actually just tune in and show you things that are personal to you, where you can get a personal message from your guides through this general reading. And if you even want, you could take a screenshot of the spread and even look at it, you know, again at some other point in time. I always tell people when they get their personal readings to take a screenshot of it and look back on it. Well, and listen to the tape again and stuff too. But anyways, yeah, so there's so much going on this month. We just came off of your eclipse on the 26th. I'm actually recording this video on the date, the night of the eclipse, within 24 hours of it. So that was a big one. That hasn't, you haven't had eclipses in your sign since the early 2000s. So we're in eclipse season and it's affecting you directly. Then we're going to kick it up, and then we're going to have a solar eclipse on the 10th in your opposite sign of Gemini. You had the lunar, and then the opposite side of the wheel. I could just break out the wheel. I have one over here. So, you know, you're over here, and then, you know, the Sagittarius, and then Gemini is the other side of the wheel. So this is the other side of the eclipse. So things are highly likely that things will be eclipsed out of your life at the time of that solar, lunar eclipse in your sign. And then the solar eclipse is a time that we come back in with the new beginnings and the replenishment of the new things. The other thing that's going on this month, which is really big, is the solar summer solstice for most of us in the Northern Hemisphere, but the solstice, the ingress. This is also a very powerful time when the sun energy moves from the air sign into the water sign. And it's a change of seasons. The seasons change, and it's the seasons change, and it's a very powerful time for new beginnings. Excuse me for 1 second. New beginnings and starting your foot on a new path. There's very powerful energy all over the place. Well, the first card out was the Knight of Swords, representing possibly an air sign person, an Aquarius, a Gemini, or Libra. Or we also are going to be in the sign of Gemini for the most of June until we get to that solstice on the 20th. So during the time of Gemini, or it could be a Gemini person, male or female, some sort of offer is coming, and it sure looks like for most of you it's going to be some sort of offer of money or employment or something like that. We have this earth sign person also showing up. The earth signs are Taurus, Capricorn, or Virgo. The other thing that's going on this month, later this month on the 24th, excuse me, is we're going to have a lunar, not a lunar eclipse, but a full moon in the sign of Capricorn, and that's going to be on the 24th. But somehow this offer is going to allow you to shine like the sun. Shine like the sun. What is that? Shine on, you crazy diamond. So shine on, you crazy diamonds, Sagittarians. Yeah, the sun is here though, and that's just shining on. That also can talk about the solstice though, for sure. Because that's a solar event, it's when the sun moves in. And it's going to bring about big changes. Death is here, but that's not a bad thing. It's out with the old and in with the new. And the new is looking really bright and good. And you have the Eight of Swords in reverse here, so that talks about how we can release our inhibitions, what we're in bondage to, our stress and worries are being released. And then through the Ace of Cups, we are being replenished. The replenishment is a big thing. Time to replenish, I think, is going to be your headline. Let me write that down. Time to replenish. Yeah, because sometimes those lunar eclipses can take a lot out of you. I'm sure that's what this is about here. But it's looking like, from this card, it tells me, it looks like it could be something. Whatever was taken out, you're happy that it's taken out. It was a good thing. You're done with it. And your Ace of Cups, I always look at, what is the Ace of Cups pointing up at? It's pointing up at the sun. So it's just like whoosh, shining out. You've got the Three of Rods. Your ships are coming in. It's such also a beautiful, beautiful energy. The ships are coming in. You're arriving. You're having the success that you want. This could be some kind of love relationship too for some of you. Excuse me for 1 second. Because the Ace of Cups is often has to do with love, and when the Sun card can also be too, that feeling when you're first in love and you're just happy all the time and everything. That feeling when you just first fall in love. And then you've got this Queen of Cups over here. So some of you might be the Queen of Cups. Now, it doesn't have to be, if you're not interested in women, it could be a male energy. It doesn't have to, the gender doesn't, there's no gender in these readings like that. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and come over and get our animal totem. Real quick, though, I want to tell you about that solstice reading. It's a very powerful reading. I offer them only during the three times during the year. I don't offer it in the winter because I'm doing the year ahead readings. But many people get them every year, and usually when somebody gets one, they get one every year after, because it's such a good reading. It's so in-depth, and it looks at all the astrology transits. It's a psychic reading, and you get an animal totem too. That'll be available for a limited time through the month of June, so if you want to find out and get in on that, you can find that information below. All right, let's go ahead and get our animal totem card for our Sagittarius friends for June of 2021 for Sagittarius. The bear. The bear is always, he's coming in or he's going out of his cave. That's always the way I see the bear. Is he coming in or is he going out? I think you're coming out. You're coming out of your cave. You've got released a lot of stuff. You've purged a lot of stuff, and you're coming out to the sun is shining. He's walking towards us. So the sun is shining on us after like a long winter. Majestic wise spirit, star brother of the north, retreat into the womb of the great mother to emerge anew. Define your territory, set boundaries, and create sacred space. Yeah, because when they come out, they kind of set their boundaries and stuff. I don't feel like that's going to be really a big thing for you, though. I feel like, that lunar eclipse really kind of took care of that for you. That's what I'm getting. Like the lunar eclipse kind of took care of any defining boundaries, getting rid of things that no longer serve you or you don't need anymore. And, you're just in a real favorable spot now. It's like cleared out a lot of crap and a lot of energy. Now, I'm recording this, even if you're watching this like June 1st or something, that energy of that lunar eclipse in your sign is still very prevalent. You can still use that energy if you did not do anything. And of course, you being a fire sign and it being in the sign of fire, you might want to do some sort of fire thing. You might want to write down everything that you want to release and then throw it in the fire and burn it up and release it in that way. That would be a really, speaking of that, let me check my incense thing. Did that go out? Speaking of fires, the other one. So that would be a really powerful way to do some sort of releasing ceremony. Even if you didn't do it right on that full moon eclipse, that energy is still present, and you can still do it now, and it would be a very powerful thing to do. All right, we're going to go ahead. I want to thank you guys for joining me. We're going to go ahead and move on to our Patreon cards here. But real quickly, I just want to show you, I ordered some samples of my journals, and they turned out really, really cool. They're nice and big. They're 8 by 10, and there's a variety of sizes. Some are sketchbook journals. Those are going to be just blank. I left this, I just put like this note. So if you want to put start date, a finish date, a title, I didn't want to, designate what you write on this first page. And then the rest of it's just a sketchbook. They're all 100 pages. There are various things of my art, like they all come in like a few different styles like that. And then you have lined and unlined. And then we have, of course, the two goddess journals. They look so cool. I'm really just so happy with the way they turned out. And then, you know, we have these hamzas, which are the plain hamzas. I didn't order that, but we have the decorated hamzas too. But the plain ones, I thought if you wanted to, you could just draw in a hamza. And I even do have that hamza course and those other spiritual painting courses. And then lastly, I also have designed a bunch of these. If you have a kid, or if you still use regular music note stuff, I know a lot of my watchers are musicians and stuff. Or if you have a kid that's learning an instrument and needs this kind of a book, I have them in every instrument, and the notes are from Sebastian Bach, and they spell out the instrument. In this case, it's piano, but there's every kind of instrument. So if you guys are interested in that, you know, please do check it out. All the things that you do to help me out, including like liking, sharing, and commenting, and subscribing, that all helps me get back in the YouTube algorithm. I am the original person to ever post these monthly readings using tarot cards on YouTube. It's taken on a life of its own, but there's so many now that sometimes I get lost in the shuffle. So by just doing those little things that don't cost you any money, that it also helps me get back in the shuffle, so to speak. No pun intended, or maybe a pun intended. But anyways, Sagittarius, thank you so much for all your support. Remember that you are love and beauty incarnate. If you're a Patreon person or you want to find out about it, you can look at the links below. You can find out about that reading, that special reading, the journals. They're only $6 in some sense, these journals, for now. Introductory prices. So thank you so much. If you can help me out and also get something nice for yourself or somebody that you love. So on to the Patreon people. Please do check out your rising and moon for more insights and information. Have a great one, and we'll see you again soon.